Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dominions 4 Multiplayer Showdown, episode 23, turn 34. My name is Sabouts with the Ashen Empire. We've got another little bit long set of lists to go through of events. So we're going to go over and touch on that now before we get into it. This should be a little bit shorter of a turn. I don't have a whole lot to really do other than moving units around and just continuing on with discussing battle plans and such. But we've got our lictors, got another spectator, which is what we wanted, and some more lictors as well. We had the Lich King search the green waters for magic sites. We didn't find any, but I moved that mage down to get to check out that event in Alipha, and at last, the ancient magic of the temple crypt has been unraveled. From the darkness within comes a being of terror and power to serve the god of death. Woe to the living. 82 units have been diseased, and Heartless, the divine mummy, has joined. So we're going to be able to take a look at that and see. And then we had an unexpected event occur in the Sea of Mermaids. A prospector genius has found a small gold deposit. We got 467 gold. We've actually got enough gold in our treasury to get another fortress up. So that's pretty important. That's actually really important. We just got to think about where we want to do it. I mentioned briefly that I wanted to do it here. I do see that Asphodel has some territory here. I wonder if I can get to the throne some way. Let's go ahead and move over here. And that'll let me see the provinces around the throne. Or around here anyways. And I can decide my plan of action from there. I obviously want to get to this throne. And I wouldn't mind taking, since Dwarf Comic's actually out of the game, I wouldn't mind taking these territories from him, since he's not even here anyways. Okay, let's take a look. Wow, Heartless. Wow. Very, very cool. This is going to be awesome. He's got Fear 5, susceptible to fire. That's important to remember, but cold resistant, poison resistant by a little bit. He's undead, need not to eat. He's got dark vision, plague carrier. So the unit carries deadly diseases that will spread to nearby units. That's pretty cool. And death curse. Anyone killing this being will be cursed for the rest of his life. It's not possible to resist this effect. Holy crap. So that's awesome. Strangulation. A divine mummy is a dead god or giant brought back from the dead with the dark ritual of rebirth. The dried and leathery body is stronger than it was in life and retains all of its magical powers. The mummy is constantly surrounded by a horrible wind of leprosy. So units here being cursed, these guys are going to suffer the most, I'd imagine. Oh, he's actually not, or diseased, I'd say, right? So he's not diseased, but these guys are diseased. That never heals, loses about 1/10 of its HP each month, and gets additional afflictions. Would have imagined that that wouldn't have affected, they wouldn't have been affected. Yeah, they're not affected by disease or old age. So even though they have the diseased infliction, I don't think that they're going to actually get diseased. Obviously, this guy's doomed. He's got 2 afflictions. He's got battle wounds. Disease never heals. Weakened strength 4. Yeah, so he'll die eventually, my priest. But the other units should be fine. Even if I go in the army setup, like these units probably have, some of these units here probably are diseased. Like he's got an affliction, but he's undead too. So they should be fine, I would imagine, and lifeless. Okay. Lots of undead units. Lots and lots of undead units. Our armies are only getting larger. Let's go ahead, continue with the lictors and our cavalry. Oh, we can't. Oh, okay. That army is pretty much all filled up. This one is not yet, so we'll get this filled up. All right, well, that unit there, then, I will want to get him into a... Okay, so that's all. He can lead units. He's going to want to be kind of leading from the front. He does have a leadership of 40. He's pretty good. Let's start building him an army. I feel like that's a really good idea to get him an army. Because he can go ahead and lead troops in the battle. And we'll actually have him lead troops like pretty much right from the front, because that makes sense. Might as well go ahead and take a handful of these and switch them over so I can make sure I can put all my ghouls here. Soulless if I've got them. That's pretty awesome. So we're actually going to set him to attack the closest enemy and move him right up. Oh, not that. Move him right up in the front. Because he's pretty much, that's where he's useful. He's just not going to help me in the back. He's got that really good ability with the plague carrier. I feel like that's really going to hurt living forces. They're going to put this in the line formation up in the front. Like so. We'll throw these guys in a line formation, kind of up in the front. Set the guys to attack the closest enemy. Set them to fire closest enemy. Okay. Now what do we got here? Oh, not research. It's not what I want to do. Okay, really nothing. We'll just grab whatever's here. So we searched for a magic site. We didn't find one. Got a couple undead units here. We'll leave them. Okay, we're going to take this force then. I don't know, like, I've got a bunch of different things I want to do. No, this is kind of tough to really make the decision. So I've got this force ready to go. We did move a leadership type unit in all these provinces. They'll be able to help keep units on the move. There should have been one more sent here, right? No? I guess not. Okay, we do have another spectator. There he is. Set him to research. We've got these guys here. We're going to keep going for some lictors. We've only got 9. We'll let that build up. I could do the astral pearls real quick, right? Why not? We might as well. It does us no good having them just stay as astral pearls. So that gives us 14 more. Might as well turn those into astral pearls too. That gives me 15. I'm pretty sure that gives me enough. Now, I talked about doing the behemoth, and that's something to consider. I would like to get some more wits though. Lictors we're keeping coming in. But that would be nice to get too. What else had I talked about? We can't get a Dusk Elder. Yeah, I had talked about getting a couple behemoths. Why don't we do that? Why don't we get a few of them? Because we'll be able to throw them into one of these armies here. We need a mage with death magic 3 who's not really doing anything. And you are going to build me a temple more than likely. Well, I think so. Priests are all just reanimating. Reese, I really feel like he's more valuable researching, but I'll keep the reanimating going. You can construct stuff too. No, you can't. Okay. Or, well, you can't here. If I moved you, you probably could. We could actually check. Right, you. It's not what I wanted to do. Oh, you can actually build a fortress too. Okay. Where would I put the next fortress? We've got the gold to do it now because of that event. We just got to decide where we want the next fortress. You know, I'm looking at either Province 8 here at Wehrmark, or I'm looking at Perina. I feel like I kind of want to keep the fortresses around. Like, I would, realistically, I'd like to put the fortress on the throne, but unfortunately I can't do that unless there's some way I could get to the throne. See, I can't get to it through there. I can't get to it without going through Tortuga's territory, and he's already threatened me pretty heavily not to do that. And as much as I kind of don't care, at the same time I don't want to start too many battles because he's got Ulm and Man on his side, so I don't want to fight all 3 of them just yet. I want to make sure I'm ready to go. I've got one scout going that way. Let's go up into Man's territory and take a look up there with that scout. And then Vanheim I've still got that sort of truce with. So I'm kind of in an awkward position right now because Vanheim Vanheim and Shanu. Vanheim I'm kind of at a truce with, and I really don't want to, even though I'm evil and undead, I don't want to break that. Simply because I want to keep building up. Agartha and me kind of have a truce. And then Shanu and me, we don't really have a truce. We just he kind of have this mutual thing where he pretty much told me don't take any more provinces or things are going to get ugly, which I get it. You know, I would be the same way if somebody was taking my provinces. I think that I could fight, and I really do think I could beat his armies if I managed to get enough forces on a province to do it. My problem is that I don't think I can beat his Man and Ulm's armies if they all decide to come down here and start problems. But if Man and Ulm aren't connected to me, can they really do anything? I don't think they can freely move through his provinces. I don't know how they would navigate that. Maybe they try to come through the water. Man and Ulm. Yeah, I don't think they really could. They might ask Vanheim for like a route or something, but even then, it would be... Let's see, even if they came through the water... I don't know. There'd have to be some serious planning between them. I wonder if Shanu would just let him take some of these provinces to be able to get to me. He could see, because he could take this water, this, and he'd be right into my territory. So I know if I was playing, if I was Tortuga, that's what I would do in the event of that situation. But yeah, we're going to move the scout here and we'll get a better idea of what's going on. I think I've got units pretty much moved around how I want. I want to get a behemoth going. Let's take a look at research again. We've got only 2 more months before we've got enchantment level 5, so we can go look at that again just to make sure. Yep, and that's giving us our horde of skeletons and pale riders, and then we'll go ahead and push right to Amorian Legion because that's something I really want. I think it's going to give me massive amounts of cannon fodder, which will be able to support my lictors that I keep pumping out. We got some here as well. Also, I had talked about moving more lictors over there. Yep, and that's why I've got this guy. I remember talking about doing that. Oop, oh my goodness. So let's move some more lictors, just a little bit more. Who is he? He's Antima U. All right. Everybody else is defending. So yes, the next fortress, that was kind of where we were at. I really... don't know. I feel like this is like the best spot for it. It's either here or here. Yep, it's either here or here, and I really think this is the best spot. Because if I put it here, yeah, it's useful. It does give me another front against Shanu, who eventually I'm sure I'll be at war with. But here, it just gives me a really good buffer between my biggest threats right now, which I believe is Shanu, Man, and Ulm, and my capital. They would have to go through Agartha, which Agartha and Ulm and Man are not allies at all. They're definitely enemies. Ulm has been at war with Agartha for a while now, and Man and Ulm are definitely super close allies. So Agartha would not let them through without a fight. So if I was to attack Shanu, and like I said, that's an inevitable war, and he was to give Man these provinces to come down, he would still have to go through either this fortress or this fortress if I put one here, or he'd have to come through Agartha territory, which would be pretty deadly. Obviously, he could come through here through the water, but I think these are more valuable provinces for Shanu, so I doubt that that actually becomes a thing. I'm glad that my dominions kind of spread it around a little bit, or spread around in these areas. Hurts their income pretty bad and makes their provinces, or gives their provinces unrest, I believe. So who's going to build it? Obviously, I could make him build it, but we're going to need him, and I'd like to have a priest there because this force is kind of on standby just right now until I have a better sit rep of what's going on over here. So with that being said, we're going to move. You know who can do it? As soon as this guy moves over, we'll have him do it. Because my priests and mages right now are a little too valuable, but he'll just be an extra commander sitting there. So I'll take the lictors and throw them on here, and he can do it. Or Or he can start doing it. I could do this. I could do that. Oh, he's got a bunch of units though, but that don't matter. I can move most of these units down. Or whatever, I can just move them up. And he can start it now because then I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait a turn, so he can go ahead and do it. Construct a fortress, 800 gold, 5 months. We'll start that now so that way we're not losing that turn because then that counts towards the fortress building. I don't want to have to wait another turn. If I can get it started now, that's one step closer to getting it done. Once this guy moves up, we'll assign all those units that are sitting here to him. I did do the... Yes, okay. Yeah, so that's good. So I'm glad I got that extra gold because that'll be the last fortress we build for a while until I start taking more provinces. But that'll give me a very strong front and a lot of undead units being able to spawn in. So I can keep standing armies up. With that being said, and all that laid out, let's go ahead. We could actually, realistically, right? He can... Well, we don't need to search for magic sites, so... We'll just leave that as it is. You've got good research. You're 25. And you're 20. And you're 20 as well. You are 14. So here's, but you have Death Mage level 3. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give this to somebody else and have them cast Revive Lictor. So let's disattach you. We'll give it to this unit. So Shek is his name. You guys are going to see right now what I'm doing. We'll give it to Shek. Here he is. Click on him. We'll have him cast Revive Lictor. And you, since you have less research but still have level 3 death magic, you can cast Behemoth, which is something I want to do. And then that keeps everybody else researching. Good. And you can move back because you're pretty much worthless there until I get a lab built, which I don't think I'm going to worry about. I mean, I could. You know what actually I should do is I should build a... Let's see. Well, we don't have the money. We don't have the gold for it anyways. I don't want to build anything else because I would like to get another fortress up. So yeah, just move you here. And we'll keep him to defend for now. Because if Shanu gets a little crazy, he'll be pretty useful there. And these guys, we need to move them. But I don't know where. I have no idea where. I'd love to take more water provinces, but it's not going to happen right now. Shanu's feeling pretty aggressive. Okay, so I haven't messaged Agartha yet about these provinces. I'll do that. That's what I'll do. So why don't we move these guys anyways? We'll move them. Let's see. From here, I can go to here. I could jump to here. I could go here, 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 or here, here, here. It's the same. So let's go here. Because I don't have anything to grab here, right? Unless I wanted to bring him with me. Well, I wouldn't need to. I shouldn't come in any confrontation. Agartha said eventually, Agartha had told me that eventually I would be able to, he would give me these as sort of a token of gratitude for me not going to war with him and taking advantage of him being weak during the war with Vanheim and Ulm. He sort of told me that that was sort of like a token of his gratitude. Was he was going to gift me these provinces since they were essentially mine at one point and Vanheim took them from me. So I'm going to take these two, and then I'm going to probably, I think Vanheim actually said that I could have Grey Mercs, so I'll probably take that. Or if he doesn't want me to have it, I'll probably just ask him for it. I'm sure he'll give it to me. I'm trying to like use diplomacy to my advantage. I know that my existence doesn't do anybody any good, but me just automatically jumping down everybody's throats and going to war with them is definitely not going to help me. It's just going to hurt me. So my thinking here is that I kind of am friendly with everybody for the most part. I try not to be too aggressive, but I slowly expand a little bit and get some strong borders, strong enough that I can build some fortresses. I can get a standing army, and then I'm going to pick somebody and they're going to go. and we're going to play it from there. But I got to play my cards right, because if everybody decides that I'm a major powerhouse and I need to go, I'll have everybody attacking me at once. It won't be good. I think me and Agartha can maintain a pretty strong standing alliance even through that, because Agartha has absolutely no love for Man and Ullum and Vanheim. Like, he doesn't like them at all. I doubt he would ally with them, because he knows as soon as I die, he's next. So I know there's a lot of tension between Shanu and some of the other races, or at least Vanheim. Simply because he's gotten pretty powerful, and I think he's got a good amount of thrones. He's pretty close. I'm pretty sure he's got this one. So that's 1, 2, 3. He's about to have 4, and this is dangerously in close to Shanu territory. So Vanheim has actually briefly talked to me about something to do with that. Shanu's gonna... I have a problem here, because I want this throne. I think I deserve it. I think it's rightfully mine, because the only reason Asphodel came down here and took these was to prevent Agartha and Shanu from taking them, and Vanheim from taking them. And he had told me that. He sent me in a message. He said, I'm going to come down and take some of your provinces simply because it's not looking too good for you, and I want to keep them out of enemy hands. And that made sense to me. I'd rather he got them than anybody else. But now, because he's out of the game, I feel like this, especially in these provinces, are rightfully mine. Manifest Destiny, I think I should own all of this over here. I don't see any reason why Shanu should have this. I don't think he rightfully deserves it. I kind of wish that I had moved into, and that's my fault, I should have moved into this province earlier. I didn't, and I regret that decision, but unfortunately I can't go back. Maybe what I can do is talk to Agartha and just tell him, listen, Shanu has a lot of thrones, and he's close to victory. I want to move through Solemn real quick and jump up and take Scythia. And he might let me do that. And then he can have this province back. And I'll just own these. And then I'll have to take this one at some point. And Shanu's either going to put up with it or he's going to attack me for it. But the more turns I can stall an invasion from Shanu, the better. Because I only get more powerful as the game pushes forward. Okay, so that's kind of my overall thinking. I'm going through real quick just to make sure I didn't forget anything that might be important. Everybody's slated to move and ready to go. I feel like I got enough forces here that if anything happens, I can move and navigate around. That's kind of what's nice about the way I'm set up. And the fact that I'm starting to get like some really large armies put together on standby for when I do expand. I feel like I'm not expanding so fast that I can't protect my borders. I've got lots of armies that can kind of be on standby. Even if they're not strong enough to take on a large force, they can stall it long enough for me to reroute my armies. But we just got to play everything one step at a time. So yeah, next time for when I get on, I'll let you guys know what Agartha says about all of this. Maybe I'll take it one step at a time. Agartha might feel a little uncomfortable if I take these two and take this. So maybe I'll just message him about this first, because this is clearly more important than that. I'll have a better, like I said, I'll have a better reading of the area around here once the scout moves. I'll message him about taking this, and I'll just simply tell him, listen, you know, Shanu's pretty close to having a lot of thrones. I don't think he should have Asphodel's territories. I think that they rightfully should be mine because they were mine. And I think Agartha will allow that. So he'll probably move his forces off. I'll move down. I'll move up and take these. And Shanu can't really say anything. He could come forward and say, well, you know, I was going to attack those. Those were going to be my provinces. And I'll just simply tell him they were mine originally and I'm taking them back. And if he's got a problem with it, then it'll be war. But I can't just let him take these. I got to do something. So worst case scenario, if Agartha blatantly tells me no about this, I'll either go through Shanu or I'll go through Agartha. It may raise tensions with Agartha, but I'll have to. Somebody's gonna lose a province because I will not let these fall to Shanu. He's already too powerful as it stands. He's already got too many thrones. So things are gonna get really heated the next couple turns. I feel, as they should, as the game starts kind of. You know, tensions are going to be rising, especially because I think now that with Asphodel out of the game, people are going to be turning an eye towards me. I'm definitely probably the next threat when it comes to evil on the nation. But I don't know. I think with Vanheim and Shanu being pretty large powerhouses in terms of how many thrones people control, maybe I can skirt by for a little bit more, for a little more turns. But we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I do hope you enjoyed this one, and I look forward to seeing you next time.